Hello and welcome to another Loadstone video. This one is going to be what is new in version 1.2. And actually, just for full disclosure, what I'm about to show you is actually the beta. It's 1.1.9, but will very shortly become version 1.2 that will be released to the App Store. So if things don't look exactly the same, then it'll mean I have had to change something because someone didn't approve. Anyway, the first thing I want to show is in the navigation screen, the Where Am I function has been redesigned.
Ash Street and 5th Avenue, 25 meters at 7 o'clock.
Before, that function only used to work if you had an internet connection. Now it has been redesigned so that it will at first try your databases and try to find basically the closest point to your location within the neighborhood radius, and if that fails to find anything, then it will go online and see if there's a point that it can find, and if even that fails, then it tries to do a closest point within your search radius. So that means that the function will be at least of some use to you even if you don't have a connection. And the next thing that has been redesigned is the entire find point interface.
Text field is editing.
Okay.
Insertion point at start.
So this screen, if you can see that on camera, it has been completely redesigned. There's the search field as normal. So
search categories, heading.
And then after the search field there's a heading with search categories. And there's
select all button.
Select all.
Deselect all button.
And those do what you think. They would either select or deselect all categories.
Selected address.
And then here are the various categories, so you can basically select which point categories you want to search. And so I'm going to do a test right here.
Search categories, heading, text field. Double tap to edit.
So we can edit that.
Text field is editing. Y T
No.
Delete Y T T E S T.
This actually will bring up some search results, and it's a little different. You don't just hit return. There's now a search button on the top right of the screen that you have to press.
Find. Search button. Search results. Find point. Back button.
And the search results are in a different screen now. So it'll take a few seconds. It's scanning my entire database since I didn't limit the results. It must know it's on camera, so it's taking longer.
The patient is alive, ladies and gentlemen.
Search results.
There we go.
Orchid cell muck DNA testing.
Okay,
1.25
so this did bring up
4
some actual results here. And if there's nothing found, it will actually say no points found now, whereas the other one, the previous versions would just bring up a blank screen. So from here you have the same actions you always had with this list, and you can go back.
Text field is
and
editing.
that will take you back into the
mode.
search.
Insertion point at end.
So you can either do another search from here if you go back, or refine that previous search, or you can go back to the navigation screen if the back is cooperating.
Navigation.
There we go.
Find point button.
Oh, all right. So that's basically what's been changed within the navigation screen. Now, the next thing I want to show is the Databases tab.
Databases tab 2 of 4.
Okay, this tab has been almost completely redesigned. Before, there used to be the points, checkpoints, point share, and then there was imported checkpoints, exported checkpoints, and imported points and exported points options. Those options have been moved to
extras tab 3 of 4.
So let's if we go up here.
Button. Actions available.
See, now there's actions available for these.
Exported points. Imported points.
Right. And then same for checkpoints. We have
button. Exported checkpoints. Activate. Default. Exported checkpoints. Imported checkpoints.
So those have been moved to rotor actions to basically clean up this tab. And if we go into, let's say, this point list, there's one other thing I want to show.
Databases. Points. Heading. Add. Button. Selected. Burnaby.
So let's say I want to do
swipe. Import.
The import option has been changed slightly.
Import. Points. Import. Heading. Network resources.
Okay.
Heading.
Under the network resources heading, there used to be a point share option, but now this has been replaced with 2 other options.
Download points by civic location.
And
download points around location.
So that's what the point share option has been replaced with, and I'm going to explain those options in a second here. So let's exit this for the
Databases.
moment.
Back button. Databases.
And then,
points.
so on the
button.
We have points,
Checkpoints.
checkpoints,
Button. Download points by civic location. Button.
And
Download points around location. Button.
okay, so
Download points by civic location.
let me
Button.
go into that function.
Download points
That's
by
the
civic
same
location.
as the
Points by
function
civic
that
location.
used to be on
Back
the
button.
PointShare website that was to download data by civic location. But now, rather than it going to the PointShare website, this is that same function but with a native phone interface. And so we have
Points by
this
civic
one.
location. Heading.
And I'll let this read the instructions.
Done. Button. Choose options from the lists below. When you select a country from the first list, regions for that country will appear beneath it. Likewise, when you select a region, the appropriate locations in that region will appear below it. Select as many locations as you want and then tap Done to download.
So that's the instructions for that particular section. And so we have
Primary location. Heading.
this, and you can navigate this form by headings. So the first is primary location.
Country, Canada. Button.
So by default, it will bring up your current location, your country, your region.
Province, British Columbia. Province.
That's
Button.
right.
Regional district, Greater Vancouver. Regional district.
And that's
Button.
right.
Selectable locations. Heading.
And that would, the selectable locations means that there are multiple things that we can select within that Greater Vancouver region. So right here,
Select all.
select
Button.
all
Deselect all.
or deselect all. Now, you might think it's a good idea to select everything, but really it's probably better to think about what you're actually going to need. Do you really need everything within a certain region? Because most likely you're not going to use everything within a region. And it will also speed up your download time if you only select data you actually are going to use.
Animal, village.
But
Ganston
and by
Island,
default,
Gilkira,
I'll go down
Bowen
until we get to our
Burnaby,
selected
Burradilla
location.
3, Capilano, Coquitlam 1, Coquitlam 2, Coquitlam, Delta, Greater Van, Catsy 1, Catsy 2, Langley District, Langley, Lions Bay, Maple Ridge, Matsqui 4, Mission 1, India, Musqueam 2, Musqueam 4, selected, New Westminster, City.
So that is already, that's the current location, and that's selected. And then there's another, if I go by heading.
Selected categories, heading.
Oh, wait, it actually skipped
Selected
one.
locations.
So selected
heading.
locations, this is what you will download if you tap the Done button.
Selected, New Westminster, City.
So it shows that location is being selected. And then after that,
Selected categories, heading.
this is the same categories that you saw in the Find Point option. There's
Select all.
select
button.
all,
Deselect all.
and deselect
button.
all, and then
Selected. Address.
by default all categories are selected. But again, if you want to limit what you download, then you can choose from this screen.
Heading not found. Selected. Agriculture. File name. Heading.
And then the next heading is for file name. So you can,
File name. PS 201709299.
so that will be,
12334. Text field.
so that will be the default file
Double
name,
tap
which
to
you
edit.
can change if you want to change the name of the file that comes in. But if you're satisfied with everything as it is, we can tap the Done button here.
Selected. Shop.
Actually.
Done. 85% battery pack. Done. Button.
And that's at the top right again, where the Done button normally is, and it will start a download. And
Downloading.
in here, now we have a downloading progress screen,
Downloading. Heading.
and
Cancel. Button.
we have a cancel.
In progress. Data received. 182.74 kilobytes.
And so if you decide to cancel this download,
Cancel.
which we may as
Button.
well,
Download points by civic location.
there, we can cancel that. And then we can
Download points around location.
we're back
Button.
into the databases tab. So download points by around location, go into here,
Points around location. Back button.
is the same as the function that was on the website, but again, in a phone interface.
Points around location.
And in
Heading.
this form,
Done. Button. Focal point. Heading.
focal point.
Latitude. 49.211.
So it starts
Text
off
field.
with your current
Double tap
latitude,
to longitude. Minus
and
122.9. Radius.
and then the radius around that particular location.
5. Text
It
field.
defaults to 5
Double tap to edit.
5, and then
Kilometers. Picker item. Adjustable.
that's if you
Swipe
have
up or down
metric
with one finger
selected,
to
then
adjust the value.
kilometers is your default, or if you have imperial, then it would be miles. But you can select different units here.
Meters.
It can meters.
Miles. Yards. Feet.
Yeah, so it lets you
Yard.
select, and then
Selected categories. Heading.
below that it has the same categories form, and
Heading not found.
then below that,
Focal point. Latitude. Yards. Picker item. Miles.
no,
Selected
No,
category.
it's
Select all.
not cooperating.
Button. File name.
there, and
Heading.
it also has the file name heading, and when you're satisfied with everything, you hit the done, and it does the exact same download procedure as the download points by civic location function. So that's basically what has been rewritten in the databases tab.
Databases.
And-
Download points around extras. Tab.
Now the
3 of 4.
extras tab, there are a few new features in here there is
Settings. Tab. 4 of 4. Extras. Head. Astronomic information.
astronomic
Button.
information.
Trip meter. Button.
Now, trip meter is the new feature here. We'll go into
Selected.
here. And this
Trip
lets you
meter.
track the
Extras.
distance that you've
Back button.
traveled.
Trip meter. Heading. Trip distance. 8.89 kilometers.
Okay, so I was using the trip meter earlier today, and apparently I went 8.89 kilometers. And then there's
Stop.
below that,
Button.
there's the stop to turn the trip meter off, and
Reset. Dimmed. Button.
the reset the trip meter to basically set it back to 0, and that will be undimmed if it's stopped. So that's basically that feature. And
Extras. Trip meter. Help. Button.
in the help tab, there are now a few new
Selected.
options.
Help. Extras. Back button. Help. Heading. About. Button.
So we have about.
Documentation. Button.
Documentation, this is an offline version of the entire Loadstone manual. So you don't need an internet connection to read this. It actually is contained within the phone itself.
You're welcome.
Yes, Christy did a very good job writing our documentation, so everyone thank her for this, because I would not have wanted to write such a long document.
And now, thanks to this update, I have to rewrite some of it.
Exactly.
Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome. And we're hoping that our translators will translate this document into other languages, and when the update comes out, it may or may not be available within that. It'll be in English for sure, but we are hoping for other languages.
Online help. Button.
And online help, that's another new option, and that will take you to the help section of the Loadstone website, so that you can view these videos or read the text tutorials or whatever, and you will need an internet connection for that option.
Visit the Loadstone website. Button.
And that takes you directly to the Loadstone website, the homepage, in case you want to explore the rest of what that site has to offer.
Terms of use.
And the
Button.
rest of the helps tab is the same.
Visit the
but
Loadstone.
if-
Online help. Documentation.
I'll go into the
Button.
documentation just to show.
Documentation. Help. Back button.
And then,
Documentation. Heading. Welcome to Loadstone GPS for iOS. Link.
here at the top of the documentation, it's a table of contents.
Getting started. Link. CoinShare registration. Link. Useful notes. Link.
So all of the various contents.
And there are
So
links, so you can just double
yes,
tap
you can just
on
double
them.
tap. So if I did that,
Useful notes. Heading
Yep.
level 2. Lodestone and
And-
battery
and every-
power. Useful notes. Heading level 2.
and everything is all done by various heading levels, so you can move around the document that way. So that is
Help.
what is in our help
Documentation.
tab.
Report a problem. Button.
And so, in the settings tab,
Settings. Tab. 4.
He's changed the whole thing, guys.
not that much.
Tags filter.
Okay.
Button.
Sure.
Advanced.
No.
External sounds.
So
Button.
after sounds, there's a new
External controls. Button.
settings pane here, external controls.
Selected.
And what this
External
will let you
controls.
do is it
Settings.
lets you
Back
control Loadstone with various multimedia controls. So if your headset, let's say, has like play and fast forward and rewind controls, you can assign those to Loadstone commands. Or it also lets you set up the magic tap gesture, which is the two-finger double tap. So you go in
External
here,
controls. External controls. On.
external controls
Double tap
on.
to toggle setting.
That's just an on or off toggle. And be aware that if you have this on, you will not be able to use Loadstone with, let's say, a music player in the background, because it will take over the control functions and the music player would mute. So if you want to have Loadstone and a music player going together, well, you have to turn this setting off. And then there's all the various controls you can assign.
Play. Next checkpoint.
See, I have play
Double tap
assigned
to change value.
next checkpoint because that's what my headset has.
Pause. Off. Stop. Off. Play. Pause. Off. Next track. Previous track. Off. Seek backward. Off. Seek forward. Off. Skip backward. Off. Skip forward. Off. Repeat mode. Off. Shuffle mode. Off. Playback rate. Off. Rating. Off. Like. Off. Dislike. Off. Bookmark. Off. Magic tap. Next checkpoint.
Okay, so those are all
Double
the
tap to
controls,
change value.
and most media controllers are not going to have access to all of those buttons, but you, depending on your controller, you will have more or less of those. And then we're down to the magic tap gesture and
Test mode. Off.
test mode. If you
Double
turn
tap
that
to toggle
on,
setting.
you can basically then hit buttons on your multimedia controller, and it will tell you which ones are you have pressed on screen, so you can tell what you actually have. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate that because if I turn on the headset, which actually has a play button, then the speech will start to come out the headset and you won't hear it on camera. And for the magic tap gesture,
Magic tap. Next checkpoint.
you don't need to enable the external
tap to change
controls
value.
setting to actually use that one. And to change the value, you can cycle through. Right now I have it set to next checkpoint, so if I two-finger double tap,
No next checkpoint.
but if I double tap, I can toggle through the settings.
Magic tap. Lock point. Magic tap. Closest point. Magic tap. Ahead.
That shows closest point ahead.
Just
Magic
sounds like
tap,
Loadstone
behind.
can beam you somewhere. Magic tap me to school.
Exactly.
Or to the bar.
Magic tap. Left. Magic tap. Right. Magic tap. Off.
Okay, and then back to,
Magic tap. Repeat announcement.
and then we have,
Magic tap. GPS info.
I'll get it back
Magic
to where I
tap.
had it.
Course and speed. Magic tap. Position. Magic tap. Next checkpoint.
So basically any functions on the nav screen that don't require any interaction you can assign to these multimedia controls. And I think, and I haven't tested this, but I think it will also let you control it with Siri. Like if you were to tell Siri next track and you had that as command assigned to something, I think it would work. So it may give you some sort of weird limited voice control over Loadstone. But again, I haven't actually tested that one. So that is the major updates for 1.2. There are other little internal tweaks like performance enhancements and code cleanups and various things. And of course the language translations have all been updated, and I'm hoping that the translators will do the various documentation files as well. So that is what it will be upcoming, or if you're watching the video later when this has been released to the App Store, then that's what this new version contains.
And guys, I want to tell you about the $6 challenge. Or, well, yes, it is a challenge. Sean is, as usual, making Loadstone the fastest app ever. And he's purchased a drive, right, Sean?
Yes,
A
I've
drive.
purchased the SSD to make the point share at least 10 times faster, because anyone who's used Loadstone, the first thing you're going to probably see is that the point share download is extremely slow. And that's not because my internet connection sucks, it is because of the actual mechanical drive speed at the moment. So I have purchased an SSD, the fastest one on the market, pretty much, and we should get anywhere between 10 to 15 times of a speed increase.
Screen dimmed.
But with that purchase came a very large price tag, $1,800 give or take, for a circuit board that's 8 centimeters long. It'll be the most expensive and smallest computer component I have ever purchased.
So we're challenging our 300
And some
plus and some odd users to donate to our GoFundMe campaign $6 each. And we've had 2 people take us up on that so far. We want 200 more. We want 300 more. We want 1,000 more. Because guess what? Any money you give, Sean is going to put into the project. Because this guy's like a perfectionist. He will make Loadstone the fastest, the best, the most customizable, anything you want. He just does it all for free, and well, the world can't exist on freeness.
No,
So-
unfortunately.
For $6, you can get
Yeah, exactly.
know.
More speed.
more speed.
There you
All right, so speed up the donations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Go to our website, tweet us, recommend, please, please, please.
Yeah, write a review on the App
yeah.
Store. We have no reviews so far, and it would
Yeah.
be good to get some of those.
Or tweet
Yeah.
us a testimonial, or
Get the word out.
Get the word out. All right. Until version 1.3 or something better comes along, created by Sean, of course. See you next time. Sean,
Yeah,
sign off.
that's it.
Sean says goodbye.
Bye.